Hi everyone, long awaited brush film. I'm going to get straight on with it because there's quite a lot to talk about. As a makeup artist I have I've got hundreds of brushes. Some I've had for decades and some that haven't really sort of lasted the test of time. Most of the brushes I'm showing you now are synthetic, just for hygiene reasons really, and obviously the synthetic materials now are so soft you couldn't really tell whether they were animal hair or they were man-made. And obviously you kind of get the cruelty-free aspect. Not that any of the animals were harmed, but there's no animal products used in the brushes. And because the cuticle of natural hair is irregular, sometimes bacteria can get trapped in the hair and it is not as clean. So synthetic brushes, and some of the brushes I'm going to show you actually have like an antibacterial coating in them too to keep them even more clean. So if you're not good at cleaning your brushes, maybe that's something you need to look at. So I'm going to go straight in, I think, with my application of my favourite foundation brushes. Now these are my three foundation brushes that I love. You will have seen me using some of these, especially the MAC 101. I've written down some of the numbers that I always forget. I've had this for a long time, this brush, and I absolutely love it. As you know, I don't like to waste foundation. I don't like to put foundation on with a big brush like this because it just absorbs the base and there really is no point. And what's the point of using a high coverage foundation if you're going to use a brush like that? You're just not going to get the same effect. So I like a flat foundation brush to apply. So I've got the MAC 101. This is from Look Good Feel Better and it's their foundation brush, which you can get from Marks & Spencer's. Again, this is the product that I was telling you about that has the bacteria coating in it, the antibacterial coating in it, to keep them even cleaner. And this is the Space NK 201. All of these are brilliant. All of these do not molt. And they are long lasting and I can highly recommend. So as you know, I like to put a lot of foundation on with my fingers, but this is just so nice to put the product on. You'll get the finish that you want and you won't waste foundation. If you put a medium to heavy coverage foundation on with a brush like that, you're going to get that. And if that's too shocking and you want to thin it down, then you can use a kabuki style brush like this, for instance. But these are fantastic. So when you've put your foundation on, you, well, let me just show you the other three brushes that I love. Again, very different price points. So you've put your foundation on and maybe it's dark, or maybe you've ever done it, or maybe you've got a little bit of vellus hair on the sides of your face. Then a really soft kabuki style brush like this is wonderful. Now the most deluxe brush in my range is this from my brush collection is by Clé de Peau. This is £60. It is extortionate, but it is so lovely. Again, it's synthetic. Actually, I'm not going to put it over my face. I've just done my makeup and I quite like it. Should have been filmed that, shouldn't I? It is so soft, and just the angle of it and the weight of it is so light at the end, but it's heavier in your hand. It just sits beautifully, and I just love the way this brush feels. This is in my own makeup bag, if I'm honest. It's actually not in my pro bag, which is a bit mean really, isn't it? I remember when I first started, all the best makeup went in my kit. And then I just had whatever because I wanted to have like the best sparkly kit with the best products in. But now there's a few that's trickled into my own personal kit. I mean, especially being in lockdown, why not? The other two great buffing brushes, we've got the Seamless Foundation buffing brush from Beauty Pie and the Angled Contour brush, again from Look Good Feel Better. Brilliant price points, but they are firm, they are easy to use, and they do the job. So if you want to make your foundation look lighter and fresher, this is a great brush to use. Do not apply blusher with this type of brush because you will get a really dense amount of pigment. Because it's firm, it really helps to either disperse the foundation evenly over the skin if it's slightly heavier, or if you load it with pigment, it delivers a lot of payoff, so beware. So those are my three favourites there. Now let us go on to, all organised here I thought. I've got one singular concealer brush, and this is by Beauty Pie, the Flawless Finish Concealer. And quite frankly, that's all you need. It's slightly angled with a tip, so you can use it in two ways. You can use it the flat side on, to do it underneath your eyes and any larger areas, or if you need to pinpoint, you can use the tip. Quite frankly, there is no other need for any other concealer. It is fine enough and it is thick enough and it is small enough to fit around the eyes. So that is my concealer tip. Right, so after concealer, I'm going to show you the 4 brushes that I absolutely love for perfecting your skin, for applying highlighter, for using with blusher, for adding a little bit of colour to your face. These are the types of brushes that I use so much at work. I get to spend a fortune. The Real Technique setting brush, I have literally sort of 6 or 7 of these in my kit. It's fantastic. My Kitco, the Ultra Multi, again, the soft fluffy brush. The cheapest one in the range, it's from Superdrug, it's from the B range. It's just absolutely brilliant, slightly bigger and longer. And this one is from an American company called Make the Make, which I absolutely love because I love the size of it. It's really, really great for a personal makeup kit. They've got fantastic brushes. Again, all synthetic, but I just love the density. All the brushes that I'm recommending to you guys today are firm. Okay, there is nothing worse than having a brush, and there are many, that you just sort of just test on your hand and it's just not firm. Even if it's meant to be fluffy and soft, just like this one, it still needs to have that real firmness around the neck of the brush. Otherwise, it just sprays product everywhere and it's totally useless. So all of these are tried and tested, and I use myself on myself and for work. So you would use these. I mean, this actually Make the Make one is a concealer brush, but if you've got dry skin like me, or you just want to mattify certain areas of your face, it's just really great for getting inside the corners of the nose, underneath the chin, softening a lip line, smoothing out a socket. It's just one of those brushes that I always go to. It's so, so lovely, and a great price point too. And the same for these guys. Again, because they're synthetic, you can use wet products with them. So a swathe of highlighter. I love this just for blusher. Please, please don't ever use a brush like that. So many shops and brands sell blusher brushes this size, and it's just absolutely pointless. The smaller the brush, the better. Because as you know, and what I've tried to teach you, is that the product placement and the colour placement of what you're putting on your face is what's bringing out your beauty. And the little colours that we have, the little dark tones, the little flushes, are all very small in our face. And if you go over with a big brush, bronzer probably being the only exception, you just flatten everything. So any one of these, a couple of these in your kit, are just fantastic. Okay, so now we'll go on to a bit of face shaping. So if we're doing a little bit of powder contour, or we're doing a little bit of blush, and I think I used this brush here. This is the MAC 168S on a Hourglass palette, and I took the brown, a darker shade, and I used that underneath my cheekbone, and then I swayed the lovely colour with the middle of it, and I just placed that with the angle so the colour was graduated. So you can really use these brushes in many, many ways. The angle of the brush really helps you define and add colour to your cheekbone, but sort of in a graduated way. The graduation stops that kind of dolloping effect of colour where you put it on, which you've seen me do a few times, and you're like, oh no, way too much, way too much. So the angle brush really does help. You can't go wrong with a beveled blusher brush. It's just a really lovely brush to have. It's also great for highlighting, because if you're going in with a powder highlight towards the edge of the eye, you don't want the same amount of highlighter on the edge of your eye as the top of your cheekbone. So again, that graduation on the tip of the brush really helps you use the product. And this is a brilliant powder contour brush. Really fantastic at placing the colour just underneath that cheekbone, just enough for me to use a brush like this, so the setting brush, and to blend it and to soften it. But that just gives enough placement of colour for me to then just blend it perfectly into place. So these are kind of like the 3 tools you could use. If you don't bother contouring, that's absolutely fine. If you don't use lots of highlighters or precision blush, that's fine. Just get that one. So you can use them all, you know, you can just use different parts of the brush for different application tools. Right, let's go on to what I would choose if I was going to be doing powder. and bronzer. So again, we've got Make the Make, and this is the loose powder, and it's just such a lovely brush. Again, I'm not going to use it on my face because I'm going to make it dirty, and I've had this for over 2 years and it's so clean. It cleans up so beautifully, and I just love it. Now the reason I love it, if I'm putting bronzer on, I can use the flat part all around. You know, they sort of say do that 3 shape, and because the brush goes thinner, it carves that cheekbone and it carves that line underneath my cheekbone, and again underneath my cheekbone and round the side again. So the brush does all the work for you, and that's why I really love this brush. Again, this is the Face Lux Definer 101 from Zoeva. Again, a bigger version of the Lux highlighter one, the 105, which I just showed you. So it's kind of like the mum and daughter version, or the son and father version. And it's just a big one. So again, if you prefer to use your bronzer, you apply your bronzer like this, you can use the tip around the edge or take the fullness around there, so that the edge of the brush delivers a very fine amount, but I prefer the Make for the bronzer one. Again, just having that tip allows you to apply powder around the nose and around the chin without you putting lots and lots of product on your face. So that's a really nice one. Space NK do also a lovely, what's it called? It's just called Numbers. I thought they had names. 101. Again, really dense, really soft, lovely and graduated, and just stays in place. Really nice brush for just applying the powder where you want it without overloading it. Any brush that's not really sort of graduated just doesn't do you any favours whatsoever. And again, Beauty Pie has 2 all over face powder and Pro Blend blush. I don't know why that took a long time to come out. Again, these 2 are fantastic. I mean, I would just have one of these just for bronzer and probably use the blush one, the Pro Blend Blush, as my face powder. That's because I don't use a lot of face powder. And I don't really use a lot of face powder at work because I love the kind of glowiness to skin. I love bringing out that natural glow. But if you want a matter, more velvety skin, then you might want to go for a bigger brush. You know, I'm not saying what I like is what we will need to play by, but that is why I use smaller brushes. So that would be my biggest, and then that would be my powder brush, just to show you the difference, because I think people really kind of get lost in like big powder brushes, big blusher brushes, and then wonder why when they put it on they don't really get any colour payoff. And also, the paler you are, it's better to use softer, more delicate brushes rather than sort of using, like I said, going back to the blush, with a firmer brush like this, because you get a real dense application. The other side of that is if you've got darker skin and you want to really amplify the colour of the products you're using, then use denser brushes and you will get a much better colour payoff. A product that's really good to have in your kit is not necessarily this part, this is like a brow groomer, but it's the metal eyelash comb. If you've overdone it or you're in a rush, you can't use the plastic tooth that comes with, you know, with one of these, that they kind of create that sort of comb effect with plastic. Get the one with metal. Cheap as chips, most chemists do them, and it just helps you to really define your lashes if you've overdone it. Or maybe I'm just being too particular, I don't know, but as a makeup artist we definitely need to have that metal to really kind of like cut through the lashes so they're not too cloggy. Okay, well, we're doing well, aren't we? I feel like I'm running a race really quickly. Right, so eyeliner brushes. I thought I had 3 here. That's annoying. Okay, I've got 2, but I'm sure I had 3 to show you. Has it already gone into my makeup bag? I do like to steal them. Okay, so found them. Right, so I've got 3 eyeliner brushes first before we go in with the eyeshadow brushes. This is my fave, and I've bought lots of these. It's the Angled Eyeliner Brush E214 from Urban Decay. When you're doing an eyeliner, you need to have a brush that is super sharp and super clean, and it doesn't splay out. That's the most important thing. And this brush always stays in precision. In fact, I must do more eyeliner looks with you. I tend not to do them on myself because my eyes have a life of their own, but we can still create lovely liner looks. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. Again, I love the lightness of this brush. I love how it feels. It gives you control, but it is so light. It feels elegant. I feel elegant using it. It's just a lovely brush. For tight lining, Trish McAvoy wins. And again, I've had this brush forever and it just keeps on lasting. It's called the Precision Eyelining. Now this is great for really tight lining, right along the eyeline here, or right along inside. And also just in this area here, just with one touch. It is such a good eyeliner if you like that kind of very subtle tight line look, and you won't need to use anything else at all. It's a little bit spiky, but I don't mind that because it really just kind of gets in to the root of the lash, creating that effect without kind of reshaping your eye with too much liner. Now, I'm not a fan of double-ended brushes, and I have a bag of double-ended brushes that I was actually going to show you because they literally have to be in a bag, and oh, there's some beautiful hourglass brushes and I love them. But when you clean your brush or when you store your brush, you have to place them like that, really. It's just because you don't want to ruin the glue or dilute the glue over time. That is the best way to store them. In fact, Spectrum do a really great sort of hangy towel thing I saw the other day, as in Spectrum brushes, and then you can wash them and you sort of like put them in these little loop and they sort of hang dry there, so that would be good. But if you've got a double end brush, right, it's that way or it's that way, so one end is going to suffer. I clean all my brushes, then I lay them out flat, and then at home I store them in a pot like this. I just think I got it online somewhere, Amazon. And I store it in this pot and it puts the lid on to keep the dust out of the way. And that's how I clean, and that's how I keep them, rather. The reason I'm saying that I like this, because I'm literally contradicting myself because it is double-ended, is that you can put the brush in your little makeup pot with the spoolie down, right? Because that's not going to affect the shape of the brush. But if you stick a brush on its nib like that, it's going to bend and it's not going to do the job that it's designed to do. I'm putting makeup on easier, or making makeup easy to apply. So this is from Amy Connolly. She's the Irish makeup artist I've been talking about. And again, it's such a lovely, sharp eyeliner or brow. This is probably actually a brow definer, isn't it? No, it's just called the Angle. So yeah, the thing is, you can use these brushes for anything. There's no rules. We know that. If you have a whatever brush to put your lip on with and that works for you, good for you. So great for running through the brow, and a great for doing the outside tick there, again, like the Urban Decay when it doesn't move. But it's just always good, I think, in the kit to have a spoolie. Spoolies are great because we always want to elevate, keeping everything up and groomed, and just removing powder products from your brows. So that's another top tip. Right, so this took me a while to go, right, what am I getting out of my kit? And I've tried, apart from the Clé de Peau one, which is just got a soft spot in my heart. Stupid, it's only a makeup brush, but I do love it. I've really tried to focus on the best price for the best quality. And in this little collection, I've got one by Kit Starts, one by Zoeva, one by My Kit Co, and one by MAC. Okay, let me reveal them to you. Okay, so these guys, in terms of eyeshadow, will sort you out a treat. Now, the MAC 239 is a legend. This brush is in everybody's kit. And if I had my own brush collection, I would just replicate this. Why? Because it's firm, doesn't really bend that much. I hate bendy brushes because bendy brushes flick product everywhere. I like to lay my eyeshadow on with my brush, and then I like to blend it. And this brush always delivers, no matter what eye shape I'm working on. So that is my top tip for eyeshadow, as many makeup artists will agree with me. Next in line is the My Kit Co My Smoothing Shadow. Now this is relatable to this one. It's slightly bigger, it's slightly more beveled at the top, and it's slightly softer. So if I was kind of going to graduate a colour into the outer corner of my eye and blend something in, I would use this one. Whereas this is kind of like for the full impact, all over the eye application. Then I would go in and just be a little bit more decorative with this one. It's got a little bit more capabilities of blending rather than loading on the colour. The other two brushes, going in with the Zoeva 220, is brilliant. Oh, what I wanted, one more thing about the 239 is to say that the tip of it again is very delicate, so it also works for that lovely socket. If you want to create that kind of lovely cut crease or defined socket, you can just tip the brush the other way and it works beautifully because it doesn't splay out. Again, another one. If you want to soften that socket, or you just want to apply a great swathe of colour really quickly over your eye, the Zoeva 220 is brilliant for this. Again, it's short enough, but it's firm enough. And these brushes, none of these brushes molt at all. They are amazing. Just take it all over your eye, under your eye, and then if I did a nice cut crease, I could just blend that through. And then there's Kit Starts, which is a great brand for great brushes at brilliant prices. This is a lovely soft blending brush. So a little bit smaller than the ones I showed you before. These ones are sort of like more for the face. So you can see the difference. This is just for the eye. So you would just do your colours, apply your colours, and then you would just blend, 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 blend. So if you really want just kind of very soft basic eyeshadow, then these two are perfect. That's all you need. All right? I hope that's clear, and I hope I'm not rattling through. You know when you know something so well, you kind of just gloss over it, and everyone's like, what, hold on a minute. But, oh, here we go, clouds, sky, sorry. So yeah, so they are brilliant eyeshadow brushes. Now, in terms of lip, I actually buy a lot of my lip brushes from art shops because I love a 90-degree angle, very firm lip brush because I like to create a really great sharp Cupid's bow, and then I go in and soften. So, you know, that's super easy to pick up. This is, oh, she's come off now, unfortunately, the name of the brand. I've had this for a long time, but that's just a brilliant lip brush. So any art suppliers will give you a fantastic lip brush, and I just really like that. I don't like rounded lip brushes like the ones that MAC used to sell, which were great because they had like a little lid on, always feathered off, and you always had a random hair that was poking out. You never got a smooth finish, and it used to really make my lips itch. Whereas these are just a great shape and just stay put. My Kit Go again do a lovely kind of sort of in the middle lip brush to what I was saying. So one side is almost shaped like a lip, the Cupid's bow, and the other side is straight. So it's super easy to kind of capture that Cupid's bow, but it's just curved. So it's not as angular and a sort of Cruella de Vil as this lip would give you, but obviously I go and soften it. So I love these two brushes. And one, my friend Ruby Hammer, who you have met on this channel, she has her own range of these magnetic brushes, and this is her second brush. And this one is an eyeliner one, great eyeliner brush, nice and thin, delicate, compact, as any makeup artist would want. And then we have the spoolie at the end, which is great. But what I love most is the lip. So the lip brush again is really firm, 90-degree angle. I love this. Puts on product really quickly, but it's glamorous and it's nice. Most importantly, especially nowadays, I use this on set. It goes in my set bag, which I carry on me, and just in sort of COVID times, and you know, any times really for lip brushes, let's be clear about that, to keep everything nice and clean. But I just love, it's like a lipstick, isn't it? You know, when you have that sort of magnetic like pull to it. Oof, that's nice. It keeps it nice and safe. So well done, Ruby Hammer. Another lovely product. So if you're looking for an eyeliner, brow and lip brush, got 3 in 1 there. Oh my gosh, I think we've got through it. Right, just a few little bits of housekeeping. I don't know whether you've ever come across these mitts. This is actually a Real Techniques one. I used to have a mitt that I used to put my hand in. I can't remember the name of it now, but my hand used to get really sweaty. So after I finish a job, sometimes I have like 100 brushes to wash, and some of them can be loaded with quite thick, oily, bright pigment. And I used to sort of just wash it with Fairy Liquid. At work, I'll do it with Fairy Liquid to get all the grease out. It's the best thing. And then I sprinkle just a little bit of lavender spray over the top, of Neil's Yard one. to keep them fresh, and I'd take them home and dry them. But if you've been working with a lot of brushes, your hands do just get destroyed. So you might not want to invest in something like this. But if you are a makeup artist and you're watching me and you just use your hands and fairy liquid and you've got a lot of brushes to get through, it's a super lightweight for the kit. It really is. And it just makes such an enormous difference just to use, you know, the little bit there, the little grooves help to loosen the makeup, to clean it, and you don't get sort of hot and sweaty, and it does save your hands. And let's face it, all our hands are pretty spent at the moment. So that's my little trick for properly cleaning. These are my two favourite brush cleaners. So this is the Pro Hygiene collection. It's their antibacterial makeup spray. And this is the ISO Clean, professional clean. And that's got aloe vera in, so it's just really kind to the bristles. Both are super effective, super great at getting rid of the product and drying really quickly. So if I'm in a bit of a pickle where at work I need to clean some brushes, just do that on my towel, and I'll clean them, and in a couple of minutes I'll be able to use them again. So that is fantastic. But when I'm working at home or when I've been filming with you guys, I will then just spritz my brushes, clean them, and then I'll put them back away. And I can kind of do that every single time I use them. And then once a week I will do like a little, you know, a proper sort of deep clean of them. And that's how I keep everything together and clean. Wow, that's fast, probably too fast. If you want me to kind of go through each section of maybe face brushes, eye brushes, lip brushes and sort of application skills, then I will. I'm not sure whether I just sort of dump a load of information on you and you appreciate that, and that's lovely, but it's just too much. I don't know whether I need to break it down. I know you'll tell me, and I'm very grateful that you tell me, because it keeps the conversation going. So thank you. And yeah, let me know what your favourite brushes are too. Bye for now.